In the Premier League's first year, you were voted by your fellow professionals as the league's best player. In a genuinely unbelievable career and life, what did that moment mean?
It meant everything to me, to be honest. I'm very, very, very proud, because I just think it's an amazing achievement for the rest of the football association to have bestowed it on me is just ridiculous, really, to be honest. When Bobby Charlton called my name and stuff like that, it was just incredible.
And the winner is Paul McGrath of Aston Villa.
It was just kind of a magical night for me, especially when you look around the room like that and you see certain other players and you think, oh, he'll be raging, but he should be getting it.
Why did it mean so much?
Because it was the other pros that were voting for it. And I just thought that's the most amazing thing in the world. For a defender to be voted for like that was just incredible. But then Gordon Strachan, I think, was canvassing with the Leeds people and stuff like that. So.
Oh, so you think you had a few people?
I think I had a few people out there that were doing me a favour as well.
When you talk about your form that season, I think in your book you call it an enduring mystery. So you had chronic pain in your knees. You weren't able to train like probably anyone else in the league. I think if I can describe your life away from the pitch as difficult, complicated, with all that going on, is it a run of form that just should have been impossible, really?
Yeah, but I wanted to repay Aston Villa for being the club that came in to bring me back into football, because it was obvious that I was going to be leaving Man United anyway.
Can you just talk us through a little bit of how your time at Manchester United ended? Because essentially, you were offered a package to retire. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's when Gordon Taylor was invited in and stuff like that. And I loved Gordon Taylor. Was just another godsend for me, because he just walked in and said, "Paul, they're wanting you to retire. There's I think it was £100,000 on but you have to just pack up and go back to Ireland." And I said to Gordon, I'd rather just fight it out with another club. I'll leave Manchester United and I'll just go to a different club. And Gordon just went back and said exactly those words to Sir Alex. So, and the next thing, I think it was a few days later or something, that Aston Villa were in for me.
Why did it come to an end then at Manchester United? You say in your book, I think the phrase is turbulent lifestyle and troublesome knees. Were they the dual causes of your time coming to an end?
I think there might have been the other cause with me, which was that I used to just, even pre-season, I used to have a drink to come back to meet people that I knew. So, that's just in my nature. It's not something I'm proud of or anything like that, but I used to have to stop the cars. I think there was about four or five of us, and I'd have to say, stop the car, I need to go get something.
Before training? Before training,
this was, yeah. It's just because I was meeting the lads again after a 2-month break or something. I needed a bit of alcohol just to give me the Dutch courage to relax and be who I was, really, to be honest, I suppose. There was a few of us that used to get together. We all lived around the same area and stuff like that. And we used to go out for a drink, and obviously Sir Alex didn't like the way we were living our lives and stuff like that. And me in particular, I think, would have crossed swords with him a few times, just simply because I wasn't for changing anyway, so if I needed to have a drink, I was going to have a drink.
So how was that relationship then, and how is it now?
I think it's great now. To be honest, he brought me back there to do work after I'd quit football and stuff like that. So I didn't particularly like Sir Alex, to be honest, but he was man enough to bring me back down to Manchester United when I'd finished my career and stuff like that. He was brilliant to me, and he'd always stop and say hello and shake my hand and stuff. He was a winner, and he didn't want someone like me, just dragging the whole team back, and even Norman, I have to say, we did overdo it, and I think we deserved, the exits we got.
So tell us about Aston Villa, especially when you arrive.
I wanted to prove that to Sir Alex, or Alex as he was known then,
Yeah.
right, you made a little mistake here because I can't stop, well, I didn't stop the drinking, but I can be a better player and I can concentrate when I need to and I can play the best football that I was put here to play. And I loved trying to prove that to the whole of anyone in Manchester who's a Manchester United fan. I wanted to prove that he's made a slight mistake, because I can do it and I know I can.
Was that the best football of your life?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. I grew to love the people that I was working with, and the players were just incredible to me. And I have to say, again, I mentioned Jim Walker. He was just everything to me.
Well, I had it in my head to bring up Jim Walker, because you describe him in your autobiography as an angel. To a lot of people watching this interview, he'll be a really unfamiliar name. The physio Aston Villa,
Yeah.
during your time there.
Yeah.
Why was he such an important person in your life? Why is he such a special man?
He's a special man because I think he understood that I was a little bit awkward with mingling and stuff like that. It wasn't that I was trying to get out of training. I trained on my own sometimes. I lifted weights. I did running on my own when I could. He's been a huge part in my Aston Villa career. He used to fly over to Ireland with me to mind me and make sure that I wasn't doing anything naughty before I joined up with the Irish team. And again, it was when I meet up with the players of the Irish team that I used to feel awkward for, and sometimes it would only last a few hours and stuff like that, and then I'd get talking to a few people and then I'd be fine. And Jim used to just fly in with me because he knew I didn't like flying as well. So there was all sorts of problems I was causing Jim that I didn't, at the time I just thought, well, Jim, he's a mate of mine anyway, so, but he was just brilliant for my career. He extended my career, I think, by, quite a few years.
Do you remember that feeling of going for the title and the club being really sort of unified and the fans being right behind you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It gets to you. Like, when obviously when you're winning games, I think the adulation from the fans and all that sort of thing seeps in, and then you start thinking, though, now there's a bit of pressure now because now you have to go to the next game and try and win it. I start to believe we might do it because the players around me, I thought every one of them is just as good as the other players. If you've got Dalian in your team and Yorkie and people and Dino, so we just thought, well, if we can just stop goals going in, you can win us the league, sort of thing. Well, it didn't turn out to be that simple, but we had a great team. We did have a good team.
Where do you think you fell short? A lot of people will point to one April afternoon where you drew with Coventry, but it looked like that would be a half-decent result because Man United were losing to Sheffield Wednesday, and that's, blimey, maybe the most famous Premier League game. Yeah.
I think they went overtime with the referee forgot where he was or something. But no, they well deserved to win it, I think. So there's no gripes from me anyway about, we fell short. We did actually fall short.
Did you enjoy your career? Did you enjoy that season? But because it's just sometimes when you talk about, and again, reading your book, I almost feel quite sort of sorry for the physical, mental pain you must have been going through.
No, I did enjoy it. And I loved, as I said, I loved being a footballer, and I loved the patterns of play that we played, and I loved even the tough aspect of football where you have to go into challenges. You might not come out of them all perfectly, and I thought we'd done as much as we could to try and get through. But then I always felt a little bit that some of the other lads would have looked at me as I would have them if they were the ones that had a problem. I would have looked at them and said, well, if you hadn't have been, drinking or out last night or out doing something that you shouldn't have been doing, then we could have won the league.
I don't think they do think that, though, because, again, keep going back to your book, there's loads of other contributors in your book, and my sense from their words is they'd have run through a brick wall for you like you did for them. They'd have done anything for you because you were their best player. I think they loved you as a teammate as well. That's the impression I get.
Yeah, to be honest, and that's why I loved the Villa boys more than anything, because they kind of protected me, and they put me kind of in this bubble where they knew that I didn't like I didn't like the outside things in football, that the cameras and lads putting mics in my face and stuff like that. And for that, I'm eternally grateful, obviously. But at the same time, I don't know whether I'd have, if I wasn't a drinker and stuff like that, whether I wouldn't have had a go at me and just said, just hold it together till the end of the season, and then you can do what the hell you want. But because we've got a good chance of winning this. If someone had come to me and sat me down and said, Paul, we've got a good chance of winning the league, so just why don't you knock it on the head, please, for a couple of months, and just let's all go at this together. I think we might have had I think I might have even done better.
Are you able to, though, to look back and give yourself a bit of leeway, a bit of a break? Like you were ill, had an addiction, and you have not had an easy life from day one.
Yeah, no, but I've forgiven myself. So
you have?
Yeah. Oh, jeez, yeah. So, I've been out of the game long enough, and and I still love the game. I love football matches round here and all this, and I love going up to Dublin to games, to the international games and stuff like that. And I love Aston Villa, and I love trying to get over as often as I can. And I love Manchester United still. A lot of people over in Manchester probably don't believe that, but of course I do. There was Norman and Robbo and Kevin and people like that, and Arthur Albiston, and I had a blast over there,
How do you feel about Aston Villa? You're remembered as God there. That's what the supporters call you. How do you feel about the 7 seasons you had at that club?
Well, that's my club now, Aston Villa. I love the place. I love the way I was treated down there. I just love the Birmingham people, and Aston Villa has been a huge part in my life and still is, because I'm a supporter now, and I love what they're doing there, and hopefully they'll do even better than I think this season.
For all your struggles, do you feel quite proud of what you gave that club?
Oh yeah,
you
no,
can afford to pat yourself on the back for that.
Oh yeah, no, I feel I did. I honestly did my best, and I think that's all you can do. I don't think there's much more you can give to a club, but honesty and your best football.
Lastly, then, how do you reflect on your career as a whole?
I just think I was blessed to become a footballer. Simple as that. It's not about trophies or anything like that. It's just that I loved football thanks to my mum, as I said. I loved football from an early age, and I was able to play it, to be honest. And I did my best in stopping other people who were probably the stars of the game, the strikers. I loved trying to get one up on them.